Hey y'all. If y'all know me, you probably remember me most as the redneck who ranted about kids shows earlier this decade. I felt that kids networks were dying and that the generation raised on these shows were going to become low intelligent because of it. I had a lot of pent up frustration in those times. But looking back, it's hard for me to be harsh on those shows when I had my own dumb shows that I enjoyed watching as a kid. All That, The Amanda Show. But the one I have the fondest memories of is a little known show called Drake and Josh. I don't get a chance to talk about much live action shows. I'm the animation guy after all, but recently I found myself watching Drake and Josh on Hulu after over a decade, and a flood of euphoria rushed over me. I found myself, a 26-year-old man, laughing at a show that was made for youngsters. But why? Well, on a technical standpoint, Drake and Josh was less a sitcom made for kids, and more of a sitcom for everybody. Sure, kids were the main focus in the show, but does that in turn make it a kids show? I mean, the Andy Griffith Show had a main character who was a kid, but you'd be hard-pressed to find anybody who would call that a show for little kids. No, the appeal of Drake and Josh is that it's kids who happen to get into funny situations. And there's nothing stopping anybody from any age of laughing at wacky situations that this show became known for. Whether it be Josh running over Oprah, the boys getting stuck in a treehouse, having to save an orangutan from an egg consumer, breaking into a party to get Drake's autographed Abbey Road album back, getting stuck in a house with a vicious Rottweiler, and getting stuck on a helicopter. The show always delivered on memorable episodes. By the way, all of those were from the same season. Yeah. As I got older and discovered old comedies like Laurel and Hardy, the Marx Brothers, and Abbott and Costello, I noticed how much of the show understood what makes comedy work. You don't need constant pop culture references or trying to cater to the Fortnite crowd. All you need is relatable characters put into wacky circumstances. The jokes write themselves. The boys had easy to recognize tropes. Drake is the girl-crazy cool guy who's street smart, while Josh is the awkward bookworm brains of the duo. A lot of the humor comes from what happens to the boys and how each of them react to it. Humorous moments also come from both boys being comedic foils to their mischievous sister, Megan. All three fulfill their roles in understanding that it's not funny jokes that make good characters, it's good characters that make funny jokes. And surprisingly, the show actually got better as it went along, as the actors matured and grew their comedic timing and talent. A rare feat for shows aimed at children indeed. And even though Drake and Josh aired for 3 years, only 53 episodes and 2 TV movies were produced, the crew decided that the show had its run and called to end it. How appropriate, because season 4 was the show's best. It's hard to imagine how they could top it. Afterwards, Drake Bell and Josh Peck went their separate ways and have great solo careers. Josh has a successful YouTube channel and has starred in movies and TV shows, and Drake pursued his career in music. Yeah, you know the drill. A teen star tries to become a great musician and they fail miserably. Actually, he's a really talented Mother Hubbard. No, I'm serious. I'm not kidding, I'm a really big fan of his music. He's a throwback to the fun pop rock songs of the 60s. You should really give him a try, you won't be disappointed. That's a Ben Maloney promise. And of course, because absence makes the heart grow fonder, the boys recently reunited in a YouTube video watching old material they both starred in. It's like time never passed. They felt like their old selves. And it's a glorious blast of nostalgia seeing these two together again. And they're in talks with networks to possibly have a revival of Drake and Josh. What does the future hold for our favorite step bros? But Drake and Josh means more to me than just a well-written show. Rediscovering it recently, it all came back to me. It was one of the shows I loved watching with my cousins when they were little. From 2004 to 2007, I remember us gathering around the TV every Sunday at Grandma's house to watch episodes, and we laugh and laugh and laugh. On top of constantly quoting the show when chatting amongst ourselves, my cousins also used to say I reminded them of Josh because of how I would react to them always driving me crazy. Rewatching this show many years later, it made me think of those times and how much my cousins mean to me. See, I'm an only child, no siblings of my own, but my cousins were my brothers and sisters. I remember them being so young, and it choked me up a bit. Those were the simpler times, and this show reminded me of so many happy memories. I can't think of any other show to make me feel so much emotion and take me back into time so well. I think if it was just for the fact that Drake and Josh was one of the better teen sitcoms to come out of the 21st century, I wouldn't be making a video about it. But because the show has such sentimental value to me, I can't resist but look back so fondly at it. This marks the first video I'm making after moving out of my childhood home, and how appropriate the topic for it is a show that is home to so many memories of everything that was a part of my childhood. Just like I'm taking a big step forward into my life becoming an adult, seeing Drake and Josh reuniting and not changing one bit makes me feel young again. It's like revisiting old friends after an extended stay in a new town, and those friends say back to me, "Hug me, brother!" Stay loony, my toonies.